Boom. Hey, Internet. What do we got here today? Look at this little guy. So, this is the junk from Stealth Spinners. Now, all the photos and everything that was going around, I don't know how clear it was that it was going to be this small of a spinner, but that's the first thing we got to get out of the way. Is this guy is tiny. And I love it. Did you hear me say that? I love it. So this guy is pretty tiny. How tiny is he? I've got kind of big hands, so it might be hard to tell. But let's take a look at something else from our Carver's Customs pouch. Carver's Customs on Facebook, y'all. Grave Raven. It's like a 1-for-1 for a Grave Raven in terms of size. Like, look at that size. Look at that size. Look at that size. Sorry, we got the shadow kind of getting in the way here. So, first things first, we're right in there. Let's weigh it too. So I've got the brass version, and I think they call it gunmetal. We'll just tilt this forward a little bit so you can see the weight. 56.8, so it's got a pretty good weight for as small as it is. I want my camera to fall over. Boy, we're teetering. My tripod's teetering on the edge. If my camera falls, guys, you know what's up. For those of you that like the millimeters, 4.5 centimeters. 1 3/4 inches, so pretty small, pretty tiny little guy. And we're gonna put it out there early. Best stealth spinner to date. You guys know I love me some stealth spinners. They're micro or mini Aventador is my favorite mini that I've handled. The hardcore Aventador and the brass and full size are great. I'm really appreciating. I probably should review it. The B2, good little spinner. But this is my favorite to date. And I don't do this too often, and I probably should do it a little more because I don't want to overemphasize how much I like this guy because I haven't done this to other spinners. But this is a must-buy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set this down here and put my hands together. I'm going to give you guys a minute to go to the description down below. Click the link and go buy yourself one right now. No, I'm serious. I'll wait. Yeah, I got all day. I mean, you guys have watched the 42-minute bearing video, so if you don't think that I can just sit here and wait, we'll wait for that garbage truck to drive by. Did you buy it yet? All right, sweet. So this guy retails pretty on the affordable. So right now, I think it's still showing up as pre-order. All right, we're gonna slide our camera forward. I'm really worried it's gonna fall. The pre-order I think was $30 for this brass version, and then $35 for the stainless steel, and I think they were doing $5 off, I think, to get you to that price. So you're probably looking at $35.40, although there's almost always a discount on Stealth Spinner's website. You just hang out on the site for a second, you'll get that little spin wheel to pop up and get free shipping or 5 or 10% off, or if you've reviewed some of the other stuff before, you might have a coupon code that works. So so good to go. So I really appreciate the finish on this too. So it's not like this black electroplated brass. It's, I think he does consider it an electroplate, but it's this really nice shiny gunmetal finish, and you can just barely feel it. It must have a clear coat of some sort on it, but it's so thin, so minimal, but it gives it a nice softness, a nice feel. It stays shiny. Really excellent finish on this guy. Really nice rounded edges everywhere, so no real chamfers, just everything's rounded. So I said this is my favorite stealth spinner. Why? Well, it is, and not to knock this guy, but just for the sake of the actual cost and the availability, this is like the poor man's Grave Raven. This has such a similar feel to the Grave Raven, the Binary Fusion. And I know it is called the Binary Fusion. One Grave Raven sounds cooler. Fabian made a joke that he was always going to call it the Grave Raven, and I like that. I like calling it the Grave Raven because I think it does sound more badass. So maybe I'm not quite as stubborn, but I'm still a stubborn man. Yeah, sorry, I watched that Binary Fusion review video a couple times. So love you, Fabian. Kisses. All right. So anyway, really digging this spinner. So now I, for one, am a little bit more of a fan of some more sleeker, simpler designs. You know, so while a lot of the stealth stuff really kind of screams at you, this is really just all function. There really isn't anything on this guy that isn't necessary. We've got some nice little cutouts here. Let's get under the hood too. So we got a standard R188. Standard retention ring, some cutouts here, some nice thick chunky arms, comes with a Stealth hybrid ceramic bearing, so that's like a $6 bearing if you buy it on its own. So all of a sudden more value in this spinner. You throw one of hex bearings you got in there, and then throw this high performance bearing into something that really needs it. So it's nice that it comes with it, but for me, I would probably and definitely will be switching that bearing out just to take a better advantage of the bearing that's in here. That said, we still get pretty good spin times. First table spin I got on this was 420, and then first vertical spin was 5:45, just about 6 minutes. Now since then the times have slowed down a little bit, but I was fidgeting with this a lot last night, so probably could use a clean. It's a new bearing, and getting broken in and doing some fidgeting, it's dropped a little bit, but not a lot. We're getting just under 4 minutes at the moment, and again, I think a little clean will certainly bring us right back. So it kind of happens with hybrid ceramics as they break in, and I don't know how long they always take to do that, but super fidgetable on this guy. Something else that's kind of interesting is this little, it looks almost like a straight line, but it is the slightest little curve you can see there. And if you put it on something flat, we're not really going to be able to see it here, but if you put it on, well, here, let's do it on this. Right, see that? See how there's a little bit of a curve there? So to your eye, it almost looks pretty much straight. And you know, the clear coat that's on this gives this a softness and just a little bit of grip everywhere. So I don't know if it's the clear coat grip or that very slight curve upwards, but flicking this guy is really good. Pulls are really good. It feels fast, feels fidgetable. It's light, pocket friendly. You don't have to worry too much about banging this guy up. And as well as if you want to know more about me and the kind of spinners that I like and enjoy, this is one of them. And it's something that, you know, you don't have to spend $200 and wait in a waiting list for. So we still love this guy. But this lets you get in that door on the cheap, and let you support someone that we like supporting. We like Max and Stealth spinners over here in Hobby Timmy. So really good from the fidgeting front. So, and again, I like what they're doing with their designs on this guy. So this is a much more toned down, subtle design. It doesn't, if you handed me this and asked me who made it, Stealth would not be one that I guessed. Whether that's a compliment or a criticism is up to you and the aesthetics that you like, but for me, it doesn't feel in terms of aesthetics like I would normally expect from a Stealth spinner. But I think they're starting to find what's going on. So, you know, they've had a lot of these really aggressive and over-the-top designs, which add a lot to the machining and manufacturing and kind of drives the cost up. And to me, Stealth feels more like a affordable brand. You know, they feel more like a, you know, like a Honda Civic, and that's not a knock. That's what I drive. I love Hondas. They're affordable. They're good value for money. So having a lot of extra bells and whistles, I don't know if is really necessary. So you look at something like this. You look at the ring spinner that they're coming out with. You look at their Mighty Max and Micro Max. Really looking like some good designs, and they're almost completely opposite. We got big, old, fat, soft, rounded looking spinner here compared to that really sleek, angular, cutout, trit, you know, performance kind of spinner. So you know, they've got a bit for everybody, and you know, they can keep manufacturing and making the ones that they've got, and they continue to offer something like this and make a little something for everybody. So you can't please everybody all the time, but you make enough spinners, you'll find one that pleases everybody eventually. So these are pretty tiny buttons. What's the size on these buttons? 16, 17 millimeters, sounds about right. But they've got a good little, because of that clear coat on there again, or whatever's going on, if it's not clear coat, whatever's going on with the electroplate on this, it gives you some grip. So all day grip, all day fidgetability, no hot spot, good spin times, good for whatever kind of spins you like. And again, I don't know if it's the clear coat or that curve, but this kind of flicking, good performance on that sort of flicking. So love me this little guy. So really pleased with this guy. Didn't even realize it had shipped. Came home and just found it sitting there, and I was like, ooh, what are you? So really happy with this. Good on you, Max. Really getting it done. So between this and the mini tank and the mini Aventador and the hardcore Aventador and that polished stainless steel, they're just home runs one after another over there. So no joke, go and get yourself one of these right now. It is one that you need. Even if you don't like it for the cost, you're not out that much, and then you can appreciate a little bit of me and what I like. Because this is right up my alley. So I do certainly appreciate larger and heavier spinners, but there's something about this style that's, you know, super fun to fidget with, and it's accessible, and we dig that. So I think I kind of got excited and talked fast because I felt like I was going to have a lot more to say than 9 minutes and 40 seconds worth, but I think we're there. The Chunk, aka the bar, I think is what it's still showing as the bar on their website. He did the naming contest and it got named the Chunk, but I think it's still showing as the bars. I think they're prototyping demo names. So go check that out, get yourself one, because they're sweet. Anything else you guys want me to say? Oh, I guess I can't really hear you if you respond. So we crossed the 10-minute mark. I'm happy with that. Can we leave you? Can I get one more good warp here? I want to get like a really high speed one, and it really takes 2 hands to get that sort of speed. There it is. We'll slow it down and get one more warp. Woo! It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. The chunk. Love you, internet. Kisses.